What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be going over some different scaling strategies that will take your Facebook ads to the next level and make you even more money. By the end of this video, you'll learn my key scaling strategies that will help you successfully scale your ads and multiply the positive ROI that hopefully you're already getting. You'll learn what you should do and also what you should not do to ensure that you make the most money from your advertising budget. If you're getting really good results on a small budget with your Facebook ads, you should seriously consider scaling. When you can plug in $1 and make $5 back, you should be doing that all day, every day, and scaling to the moon. I run a digital agency that helps businesses with their Facebook advertising, so hopefully I'll be able to share some insights to help you guys out. So with that said, let's get started. So this is actually part 2 of a video I recently released on how to properly scale your Facebook campaigns the right way, which you can check out here. You'll want to watch that video first because that has all of the prerequisites and knowledge that you'll need to know and have before you can proceed with the advanced scaling strategies that we're going to cover in this video. So make sure you check that out first and then come back and watch this. Lookalike audiences, one of the holy grails of Facebook advertising, and personally one of my favorite types of audiences because it is just an overall godsend that works so well. First thing to note, if you don't know what lookalike audiences are, that's basically a group of people that Facebook creates using a base audience to help you target similar customers with more precision. The most common example of a lookalike audience is based on customers who made purchases on your website, as an example. But even though purchase events may be the highest in your funnel, these lookalike audiences are not always the most profitable. This is assuming that you have the Facebook pixel installed on your website, which would be a prerequisite for you to create these lookalike audiences, which I'm not going to go over in this video. In some cases, you'll see that other website events such as add to cart, initiate checkout, or add payment info will convert better than your purchase audience. So you'll want to test your lookalikes based on those different website events as well. So what does that look like? Well, you might create a 1% lookalike audience for each of these events, one for purchase, one for add to cart, one for initiate checkout, one for add payment info, and pool all of those lookalike audiences into one CBO campaign to allow them to compete against each other. Recently, CBO campaigns have been working a lot better than ad set budget campaigns because Facebook will take your various lookalike audiences and allocate your spending based on how each of those different audiences are performing within your campaign. The takeaway here is not to rely too heavily on your purchase audience because that's not always going to drive the biggest ROI. In a lot of our campaigns with clients, we see that sometimes initiate checkout has a higher ROI and sometimes it's add to cart. So it really varies, and that's why you'll want to test these different events as you're scaling. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you would give this video an early thumbs up so I can create more content like this for you guys. Your support really helps the channel grow and gets the video seen by more people. I talked about this in my previous video, but vertically scaling basically means that you increase your budget on winning ad sets. I know that there is some debate among Facebook advertisers about whether you should increase your budget on a successful ad set or duplicate it first and then increase the budget. Personally, I never touch a perfectly good ad set because there's always the risk that I'll ruin it and it won't perform as well. And that's the worst thing that could happen, is you ruin a perfectly good ad set. But with that said, the way to vertically scale while maintaining your ROAS is to increase your budget by no more than 20% every 2 to 3 days. If you're going in Ads Manager and changing the budget every single day, you don't give Facebook the chance to optimize the delivery for you, which ruins the algorithm. And 20% is a good range, and I wouldn't double or triple the ad spend because Facebook doesn't typically like when you go from 0 to 100 too quickly. The scaling process is very delicate, so you have to do it slowly. I would only do this if your ad sets are getting really good results over the last 2 to 3 days. A good result is at least a 2 ROAS consistently. Any less than that and your ads won't perform as well if you decide to scale up. Like I said, my personal preference is horizontally scaling, which means that I prefer to duplicate successful ad sets. I spoke about this in my previous video, and instead of adjusting your budget on existing ad sets, you would basically duplicate your winning ad sets first to reach different segments of your best audiences. If you want a more detailed explanation about this process, you can check this out in my last video. I'm going to leave it in the description box below, where I go into a lot more detail and in-depth breaking down the algorithm and how that works. So this strategy involves both duplicating your ad sets and increasing your budget. So how does it work? Basically, what you do is you'll duplicate your best performing ad sets. Again, make sure that it's getting consistently good results over 2 to 3 days, and then you would duplicate it and increase your budget by 20 to 50%. For example, I have 3 different ad sets that are each spending $20 a day and getting a ROAS of 5 over the past 3 days. I would duplicate each of those ad sets and set the new budget to $30. Pro tip, duplicate those ad sets 3 times to ensure that you have the best chance of success. When you have 3 ad sets, usually 1 or 2 out of those 3 will do really well. Sometimes your ad set will have initially poor conditions and not perform as well because remember, not everyone is on Facebook all the time.
Oh, I'm not on Facebook.
Can't find him anywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not on any social media.
How am I supposed to find pictures of his ex?
I like to call this a scaling casualty because you end up losing some money in the process of scaling. It's just a sunk cost that you'll have to live with. So having said that, only do this if your ad sets are profitable and you have money to spend. This is what all the pro Facebook advertisers do to scale up to 4 to 5 figures. Just think of how hard it would be to spend $1,000 or $10,000 if you're duplicating tiny $10 ad sets. You would need at least 100 of those micro audiences in order to reach that threshold of ad spend.
Okay, let me just get my change out. 1, 2.
If you want to play in the big leagues and scale up to 5 figures, this is the strategy for you. Have your best performing ad sets compete against each other. Take a look across all of your campaigns and evaluate which ad sets are doing really well. Then take those assets and duplicate them into one big CBO campaign at $50 to $100 a day. What will happen is Facebook will distribute your budget across those audiences that are engaging well with your brand. What you'll find is that your profitable ad sets may perform better when you optimize your budget at the campaign level instead of the ad set level. Pro tip, you should duplicate your ad sets 2 to 3 times to give them the best chance of success, but make sure that your campaign budget is large enough so that each ad set gets enough spend. You don't want to have a campaign set at $100 a day with 30 different ad sets going because each of those ad sets will only get $3 in ad spend, and that's simply not enough when you're scaling. You should also make sure that your audience size is large enough to prevent issues with ad delivery. So when you use CBO, the largest audiences typically receive the most budget by default. So you want to make sure that your audiences are approximately the same size when using this strategy. An audience size of at least 5 million works best when you're using CBO. So those are a few of my Facebook ad scaling strategies to amplify the success you're seeing on a bigger budget. Let me know what's working best for you. I always love learning about different techniques since the Facebook ads ecosystem is so dynamic and constantly changing. And if you learned something from this video or got value from it at all, please smash that thumbs up button. And if we can get this video to 30 likes, I'll do a part 3 of more advanced strategies to help you scale your Facebook ads even further. As always, please consider subscribing if you enjoy the content on this channel, because I do spend a lot of time making videos like these to help you guys. It would really make my day. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!